Hi everyone, welcome. This is Flower Child 567. And guess what? Yep, yep. It is Friday. And that means TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, right? Yeah, well, here we are. And we are moving into the Tamriel Roleplay Theater. No, I'm only teasing. Actually, because it's Friday, we are looking at Tamriel Storyteller Hour, and I'm going to start a journey into the High Elves. And as you know, I am a High Elf myself, so you can see that I am a superior race. Oh yes, well they say we are. And I guess we say we are, so there you have it. Well, here we are, and we're going to go ahead and get our ritual. We're going to get our ritual on, so let's light the candles. And let me open up and pull out the apocryphal tomb. And open that. Oh, now we have the magic going. Now we have it going. All right. I've got a couple of things to share with you first about high elves. And so I'm going to do that right now. And one of the things I want to talk to you about, of course, has to do with just the race of the high elves and what we mean to all of you in Elderscrolls Online. All right, so, we arrived, the High Elves, or the Altmere, as some like to call us, arrived in Tamriel thousands of years ago from old Aldemaris. And like I've said, we are considered a superior race, but we see ourselves as the ruling race of Tamriel, because we are a highly cultured people. We're known for our breathtaking architecture and our massive libraries of history and creative works. We do tend to be isolationists, largely remaining on Summerset Isle, which in just a little bit we'll be traveling over to Summerset Isle. And we only emerge when we perceive a great threat to our homeland. We are powerful mages. We are powerful warriors and the de facto leaders of the Aldemari Dominion. So we wear the yellow and blue, actually, if you want to know. And I think that one of the most important things to realize about Aldemari is that we're just highborn. We're just wonderful creatures. Anyways, I'm going to take a look at just the lore of the Altmere. All right. We're tall. We're golden skinned, and we hail from the Summerset Isles, as I've said. And we are generally viewed as being proud or snobbish. But we live 2 to 3 times as long as humans, with a 200-year-old Altmere being old and a 300-year-old Altmere being very old. But we do consider ourselves, like I've said, to be the most civilized culture of Tamriel. We are the common tongue of the continent, and so we're kind of the ruling caste. But and most of the empire's arts, crafts, laws, and sciences are derived from Altmere traditions. I would say that we are strongly gifted in the arcane arts of all the races. And we are very resistant to diseases and immune to paralysis. However, we are somewhat vulnerable to magicka, fire, frost, and shock, which makes us very weak against our strongest point, which is magic. But we still are and will always be the longest living and most intelligent race of Tamriel. So, what can I say? I want to just share with you some stuff about our origins and what's called our schisms. You would not think that I'm a high elf because I fumble so often on my words. Come over here to the alcove that honors the high elves. You can see the map of Summerset right there on the back, and I put Meridia, the bright lady, here. I do feel that she's very, very important to high elves, regardless of what anybody else says. I have the 9 commands of the 8 divines. Since this is the 8 divines retreat, I went ahead and put that in the very center with the high elves, and I put a tome on the 5 companions because they're so very important for everyone in Tamriel, whether you are aware of it or not. So let's take a look right here at this map, shall we? And after we look at that, we'll travel on over to Summerset. So when we left our home island of Aldmeris, like I said, most of us settled first in the Summerset Isle. And the Mayormere believe that the Altmere, that our race is a mongrel race, and that it is actually the sea elves who are directly descended from the purest strain of Aldmeri ancestors. Much of the lore and history is hidden, but it's also known that many unique ruins and structures, notably the Sephira Tower, predate our arrival by at least several hundred years. So, and we did war with the Sloat of Thras and other very strange and unknown creatures to control Summerset in ancient times. And we did come together and form the Crystal Tower as a monument to the spirit of our race. And it was the pinnacle of magical learning until the construction of the Arcane University, which, yes, we'll look at. Now, there have been some social classes among the Aldmere, and we did lead a series of immigrations from Summerset Isle to regions all over Tamriel, notably under the prophet Veloth, which would lead to the great diversification of elven races such as the Chimer, the Bosmer, the Orzamir, and Alias. Exactly when and where the Dwemer and Snow Elves emerged really is not clear, but we all have common ancestry, and we do have many different but collaborating legends that claim the changes of each race were the result of differences in our worship of deities. The Mormir, or the Sea Elves of Pindonia, were at one time counted among these immigrant groups from Summerset, but tapestries in the Crystal Tower, next time you're there, take a look, suggest that their divergence from us, from the Aldmer, took place before the elves had quit Aldmeris. And that's an account that has been accepted by both Altmere and Mormir sources by the middle of the Second Era. Oh, yes, Altmere is associated with High Rock and Hammerfell. And one clan of the Altmere that we know as the Durini established a foothold in High Rock and rose to power there in the early First Era, founding the Durini hegemony strengthened by Aliads that were fleeing the ascendant Elysian order in Cyrodiil. At its height, the hegemony incorporated parts of Skyrim and Hammerfell, and the number of the Durini Altmer was always small, and in High Rock the Altmer interbred with local Nades, producing the Manmeri race, who would later become known as the Bretons. So the Bretons are the descendant of high elves, and they did assume positions as stewards and administrators under the hegemony. And though the Darini defeated an Elysian invasion at the climactic Battle of Glen Umbra Moors in the First Era 482, they were so weakened in the victory that the emergent Breton nobility were able to force them to retreat from almost the whole of High Rock to the Isle of Balifera, the site of the primordial tower of Admontia, which became known as the Darini Tower. Anyways, that's going off onto another tangent. But just know that the colonies of Altmer existed in other parts of western Tamriel during the First Era, though these proved more short-lived. And, yeah, okay. All right, let's go on over to Summerset, and then I'll read some of the book lore. All right, so I think you need to come close to me because we're going to be traveling. So come close, come close. Let me give you a sprinkling of my dust, shall I? And here we go. I want you to be able to travel with me. Ah, yes, there we go. Now let's go ahead and just find the location right here in the ethers, shall we? We're going to go right there is Summerset. Boom, yes. Now let's open up the portal so we can travel. Are you ready? Very nice. And we're going to go into one of my houses. So breathe in deep and full, and here we go. This was one of my original residential locations. Ah, here we are at the Alinor Crest Townhouse. It's very busy here. So many comings and goings of people. Anyways, welcome to my little humble home away from home. Yes, I've got my scholar. Of course, I bring him everywhere. Virodar came over before we left. And I do have to have a guard here. I brought him over from Solitude because, why do I have to have a guard? Well, because Alinor is such a cosmopolitan place, metropolis, that so many different races come here. I do provide for all my guests a place of refuge and hanging out. And here's Kildora. She'll serve you and get you some nibbles. And of course, we do have lots of wonderful formal dinners and other such notable things. Let me show you up here real quick. Oh, here we go. If you need to get some money exchange, Nuzame will be here to assist you. Now, over in this area, this is going into my private area. So I ask that my visitors just, not go in there. You're very welcome to sleep in any of the beds located in this room. And of course, out here is a nice balcony patio for you to sit on and enjoy. Let me come downstairs again. All right. Let's just step outside, shall we? All right. This is our beautiful land, Summerset.
Keep your eyes open for a good tea shop. Always
okay,
happy
Allison.
to try a new blend.
Oh, he's always saying something. I'm going to dismiss him for right now. How's that? Well, I'll keep him with us. There's no harm in. Anyways, up that way will take you to the High Castle. I live not far from it. Here's the Mages Guild, which is very appropriate. But you can see the High Castle in the distance. But you must go up the pathway and around and go there. So I live in a very prominent location in Alinor. It's a beautiful place, right on the coastline. All right, so yes, let me share with you some more information about Summerset. And I'm going to go into the journals and into the lore library and into the Summerset scrolls. And we're going to go down here and find the guide. Somewhere in this pile of books. Oh, here we go. Summerset Isle, a Visitor's Guide. This is by Runelsteer, the Surveyor. Fairly met travelers, you know, you can now count yourselves among the privileged few mainlanders to set foot in Altmeri lands. Was the crisp air and vibrant color of the Blue Divide everything you imagined? If you had the luxury of crossing it upon one of our ships, I have no doubt it was the smoothest sailing of your lives. Consider it merely the first courtesy and comfort of many in your visit to the isle. Let the warmth of our sun and the scent of sweet blossoms greet you as you leave the cool waters of the Cape behind you. Try not to be intimidated by the bustle of Vocal Guard. The townsfolk are well accustomed to dealing with mainlanders who come bearing goods. If they have the patience for dealing with sailors as they do, rest assured they will not be put out but by polite guests such as yourselves. Avail yourself of the sumptuous accommodations of its inns and try local fare. You will find no equal in Tamriel. Altmeri hospitality is an art, like all our pursuits, that has been honed for thousands of years. You may find yourself overwhelmed by such enriching experiences, but ease your mind. The Isles are a place of harmony, and you will find your equilibrium by letting its natural tranquility guide you. The Sephiraz ensure that each element, from the tallest tree to the shortest blade of grass, is in perfect balance. It would be best not to wander too far and disrupt the usual serenity, but if you head north from Vocal Guard, you'll find the South Beacon Lighthouse, a charming structure that guides our Royal Navy safely through the night. The cliff that it is built upon provides a lovely view of the holy Isle of Summerset. On a particularly clear day, you can see the town of Shimmering busily ferrying goods and citizens to and from Arudan, where I'm not there. You may be tempted to ascend the lighthouse for a better view, but please refrain from disturbing the attendants. Allow to me to speak for all Altmere when I say that we hope that partaking in our culture has been an elucidating experience. I hope your time in Vocal Guard provides you memories to last a lifetime. Don't forget, any stay longer than 5 days must be approved by the authorities, or you may find yourself and your visit cut short unexpectedly. unexpectedly. Safe travels back to Tamriel. Approved for distribution by the Divine Prosecution. Yes, there you have it. Now, let's take a look at the map, shall we? So you can see exactly where we are. We're in Alinor, of course, which is a beautiful location, and the community in which I live in. Right here is my house, and right here we stand on the balcony overlooking Alinor. I have another small apartment over here for very, very important guests. They get the whole privilege of my golden griffin garret when they come to visit. Well, sometimes, maybe not. All right, let's look out beyond. And here you can see where we are located and just how big and wonderful Summerset is. We have all kinds of activities to have fun with. Now, the location that was being discussed, was Shimmerine, and it's right here. And I think that we'll go down to the Way Shrine and we'll hop over there, because it is a beautiful place indeed. But come with me. Well, maybe I should take you up. Ah, yes, I will take you up to our castle. How's that? Come this way. Look at the beautiful architecture of our land. So much to visit and see, and so many wonderful quests to take.
Another distraction.
That is very grand indeed. Wouldn't you agree, my friend? And here's the walkway, the colonnade. Look at how beautiful that is. And if you look this way, look at the falls of Alinor. Isn't it just divine? Yes, it is beautiful. And if you look this way, you see the Alinor city and the ocean beyond. Just beautiful. Let's come in. Alinor Royal Palace, my friends, just for you. Beautiful, is it not? Just to walk in here is a privilege. So let's step back here and let me share some more as we gaze upon the beautiful hall. Now, I would like to share with you that the mainland of Tamriel experienced many problems and sagas during the First Era and early Second Era. As we know, the sea insulated the Altmere of Summerset from their problems, though we had our own limited internal conflicts as well, as repeated large-scale invasions from the Slode and the Mormere to deal with. In the Second Era, 580, however, amid the chaos of interregnum that followed the fall of this, I don't know how to say that word, interregnum, that followed the fall of the Second Empire, Queen Alrin of Summerset allied with the Bosmere of Valenwood and the Khajiit of Elsewhere in the Elden Accord to form the First Aldemiri Dominion. So know that it is Wood Elves, Khajiit, and High Elves that make up the Aldemiri Dominion. Okay? The Dominion propaganda decried the carelessness of men, and promoted the establishment of elven rule across Tamriel, viewing the Aldmeri races as the only people with the wisdom and restraint to be its proper stewards. To that end, the Dominion fought the Three Banners War against the Daggerfall Covenant and Ebonheart Pact for control of mainland Tamriel. Now, the first Aldmeri Dominion ultimately failed in this endeavor and broke apart. A second Dominion was established in the Second Era of 830, following Altmere intervention in a dynastic dispute in Valenwood. The Second Dominion once more allied the Altmere with the Bosmere and the Khajiiti, but also with Mormere, usually their hereditary enemies, right? But even this expanded alliance could not stand against the forces of Tiber Septim, however, who crushed the Dominion with the help of Numidie, and finally brought the Summerset Isle into the imperial fold in the Second Era of 896. The Mormere, for their part, soon resumed hostilities, attacking and threatening to conquer Summerset in what we call the War of the Isle of the Third Era, 110. The Altmere had to accept assistance from the Septim Third Empire to survive. The Altmere remembered these incidents with shame and horror, I might add, and we will likely contribute to social unrest among our youth at some point later in the Third Era. The Fourth Era experienced the Oblivion Crisis of the Third Era, 433, and it proved an even more traumatic movement for the Altmere as Daedra overran Tamriel. The Crystal Tower briefly served as a stronghold for the surviving refugees in Summerset until it too was destroyed by a powerful Daedric spell. So you can see many things have happened here. Many things have happened. We have fought many battles here. And finally, the establishment of our superior rulership here with our royal palace. Okay, let's go on out. I hope all of you out there listening to the lore is having a rather blissful and welcoming day. Maybe you've already started your weekend festivities. Oh, I hope so. And I hope it's just wonderful. This is such a beautiful landscape. I just love it. Oh, and listen. Music is such a wonderful thing in our world. Altmeri singers are the best in all of Tamriel. All right, let's go down, and we're going to go visit another location. Here is the bustling city center. Crafters are down there. Achievement vendors are over here. Here are craftsmen of every skill and merchants known as guild. As guild traders all come in and bring their wares. And over there's the bank. But we're not going to shop. We're going to go up here to Shimmerine. It's a beautiful part of the land. We are. Oh, so pretty out here. It's a much smaller city, but nevertheless, and here are the local guild traders. I think what I love most about it is that it is truly right on the water. And look at right here waiting for us is a magic bag. I know everybody says, Flower Child, that's not a magic bag. That's a heavy sack. Well, it is a magic bag. You know why? Well, think about it. Inside of it is a treasure. And you never know when they're going to pop up. They're just suddenly there. So that's magic. Take it from a high elf. I know magic. All right, let's go out here to the very edge. This beautiful lagoon. Here are our ships moored and ready to welcome any to Shimmerine. All right, here, my friend. All right. I'm going to read to you a guide to Aldmeri culture, okay? I'm just getting it open here. This is a guide to Aldmeri culture on dueling, and it's chapter 47 of the Altmeric rites of martial contest. I'm sharing this with you so that you know our prowess as warriors is indeed great. So listen up. Despite our majestic Adric heritage, we Altmer are not immune to the mundane worldly tensions that plague the affairs of lesser races. Wisdom and prudence dictate that simple disagreements are best settled through dialogue, long and through consideration, combined with wine and fellowship, often yield reconciliation in short order. Alas, some indignities cut so deeply that an honorable martial contest is the only route to rapprochement. In such cases, the aggrieved parties must abide by the following rules. 1. Both parties must arm themselves with a traditional Altmer dueling foil. Long swords, axes, flails, and the like are not permitted by the sacred laws of Trinamac. Foils must be washed in mineral water, thoroughly dried, and well polished. You don't know what a foil is? Well, then you'll need to look that up. Prior to the duel, both parties must recite their adversary's full name, taking care to call upon patrilineal, and clan honorifics where appropriate. Duelists who stumble over or mispronounce their adversary's name must stop and recite the name in its totality twice more. And point 3, duelists must ensure that a second is present for the duel. These witnesses are honor-bound to intervene should one of the aggrieved parties commit an honor infraction, such as casting dirt in their opponent's eyes, fleeing the field prior to the duel's conclusion, or using venomous words that might further inflame tensions between parties. The victorious duelist must engage with their defeated opponent in a courteous and humble fashion, availing them of family, physicians, bandages, or any other appropriate service to dress their wounds. Defeated duelists are likewise required to admit error and humbly request forgiveness for their actions. And if the parties follow these rules, both emerge from the conflict with honor intact. And this is good, for nothing on Nirn counts more than honor. So that's very important. Okay? We expect that of all infractions. Okay. We're going to come down over here. It's a beautiful flag. Every Altmeri aspires to hang that somewhere on the grounds of their homes. I don't have any yet, but I will. I just made that up, but it sounds really good to me, so I think it's going to be good. Keep of the 11 Forces. Now, have you ever been here? Hopefully you have. This is a prisoner's hold, and this is where we put our prisoners, though we can no longer get in there at one time. And as you can see, those who died imprisoned, they are honored. This is a long time, long ago.
We can use this.
All right, let's take a look. Here's some of the beautiful landscape. I just want you to really see it. We have many runes. They're everywhere, scattered about. I encourage everyone to take time to walk around the landscape, to experience and explore that which is designed and created and laid out for you. Okay, let's look. Let's look at another lore book. Charge of the Welkinar. That's a good one. I wanted to read to you now, though. I just read that one. Oh. When I'm out upon the land in Summerset, my mind drifts and I just want to walk, literally in any direction. I can get lost in this landscape. Let's read about the College of the Sephirics, okay? College of the Sephirics. It lies to the west of Lilendril, on a small isle outcropping that rises from the sea. The general public cannot access the compound, not without obtaining the permission of the portal master who controls the magical egress that leads from the Lilendril proper to the small island. They say this is to protect the sages and maintain the solitude they need to think deep thoughts and study obscure lore. The chronicler has made repeated attempts to ascertain what exactly goes on in the isolated college compound. Here is what I have uncovered. First, though, some background on the Sephirics themselves. These are 223 fully accredited Sephirics at any given time. each devoted to and responsible for a specific field of study. The current leader of the Sephiroth, Larnatil of Lilendril, for example, serves as the Sephiroth of arcanology, encapsulating the collected knowledge of arcane lore within her prodigious mind. The Sephiroths in turn are each assisted by one or more acolytes. These Sephiroths in training hope to one day replace their masters and earn a seat in the college, though that isn't the only path for aspiring sages to take. Any distinguished high elf scholar could receive a summons at any time and be invited to join the prestigious college. Individually, Sephiroths conduct and catalog research to expand their particular area of expertise, give lectures, consult when called upon in regards to their fields of study, and write papers and books to expound upon their subject matter. As a group, the function in the College of Sephiroths is to advise the current rulers of Summerset and train the heirs to the throne. They also issue proclamations as necessary when research and study reveal new information the public needs to know, and they review such research to determine if it should be included in scholarly reference material. Now let's get back to the physical compound that also goes by the name of the College of Sephiroths. Now, while the chronicler has not yet been able to personally explore the college compound, I have it on good authority that the following details are mostly true and predominantly reliable. The walled compound fills a small island that lies directly west of Lilendril. The main level of the compound features, from what I've been able to gather, a grand library, study halls, and suites for the most senior members of the college. I understand that dormitories and study cells are available for the use of the lesser Sephiroths. The true wonder of the College of Sephiroths, though not counting their connection to the Crystal Tower, is the massive maze of chambers and corridors beneath the main compound. This area, known as the Labyrinth, serves a number of functions, but its most celebrated use revolves around the matriculation of the royal heirs of Alinor, and when an heir to the throne reaches the appropriate age, they go to the Sephiroths Labyrinth to study Altmiri, regal praxis, and ceremoniarchy for 3,555 days before being crowned. This chronicler is quite certain that the mysterious College of Sephiroth contains additional secrets, but as long as the sages demand privacy and the Queen and her agents support such a policy, the people of Summerset will never know what truly lurks within the walls of the compound. My dear viewer, let me share with you that I am from the College of Sephiroths. I am a scholar, and one day I could very easily be called back to the college to teach, because I am a distinguished high elf scholar. But I must tell you, and I've not told anyone else before now, but my mission that was given me as a distinguished high elf scholar and a graduate of the College of Sephiroth is to share the lore of all of Tamriel with all of you. So the Tamriel Storyteller Hour is just that, my service as a high elf scholar. And here is the biggest secret of all. I am an heir to the throne, and one day I will be called into the labyrinth. Yes. Well, we'll see. Now I have to tell you one other thing. Perhaps, if you're lucky, next week or the week after, I will take you in it. In fact, I have to tell you something of great importance. Next week, I must travel to distant land. It will take me hours to fly there, and I will stay there for 4 days and 3 nights. But I will return once again. So, though I won't be here next week, I will see you in 2 weeks. So, don't forget about me. Let me see. Our Blessed Isles. I think I would like to do this ancestor song as we close for today. This is Praise Be, Ancestor Song. Praise we now, Mara, O goddess of love, bless us with children, our mother above. Clap hands in praise, exalt the divines, clap hands in praise our ancestral lines. Praise we now, Exares, who transcribes our story. Honor the scrivener, our carriest of glory. Praise we now, Ifri, O first Elenofe, God of the forest, earthbones show the way. Last praise Ariel, forefather of all, formed us to be like him, wise, noble, and tall. Praise, clap hands in praise, exalt the divines, clap hands in praise our ancestral lines. Oh yes, I have fun with that song, could you tell? Yes, I'm not a singer, but I do believe that song is very, very important. We will be looking at the sages of the Crystal Tower. We will be looking at the College of the Sephiras in the actual location. And the Crystal Tower. What you think, Azander?
New research awaits. Let's ruminate.
He's all about the research, this one is. He's a great companion to have. All right, my dear friends, I want to thank you for tuning in as I shared with you my beloved homeland. So I look forward to seeing you next week, or in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, don't forget, 2 weeks. And we will journey on down the road. We will journey on down the road and visit many wonderful places still to see here on the beautiful Isle of Summerset. And maybe if you're lucky, maybe not in 2 weeks, but at another time we will go to Artaeum, because we will be looking at the Sijic order as well on this leg of story time. And after Artaeum, after the Sijics order, we will be looking at the Mages Guild. So in that order, High Elves, Sijics, Mages Guild. We've got a lot to look at. All right, my friends, thank you for tuning in. Stay healthy, happy, cheerful. Remember to smile. Remember to be in balance, as I am demonstrating. Always stand in balance, for that is the way of the Aldmeri. Until next time, Flower Child 567, saying farewell, farewell, farewell.